Hi guys, welcome back to Chapters with Cham. My name is Cham, and this is where I do all my book reviews and book hauls and all of that kind of stuff. Today I'm back with a very angry kind of review, and the only reason for this is because the book title is very specific on what it's supposed to be, and what I got was very different. Not that I wanted it, by the way. I'm not saying I wanted this particular title, but I wish it had something to do with the storyline, but because what I got was completely different. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. So, this is the book I was reading a few days ago, maybe a week ago, and it's called Adultery by Paulo Coelho. Now, Paulo Coelho is a great author. He's the one who wrote The Alchemist. He also wrote one of the books I read earlier on called Veronica Decides to Die, and that book was really insightful on mental health and the perception of mental health in different countries, especially in Europe. So this is a similar book. It's set in Switzerland, and the main character of the title is Linda. Now, Linda is she is an individual who has her life quite together from when she was younger. She's had what you would call the perfect life. She had good parents, a good upbringing, a good education. She went into a good job, and then finally she got married into a good family with a good husband, and she's got kids. I think after 10 years of living this perfect life, she wakes up one day and she's like, is this all there is to my life? And from then onward, darkness kind of sets into her life, and we all have it. Everyone who's in the adult life wakes up once in a while and they're like, is this it to my life? There's always going to be another cog in the cycle, or another day that you just have to go to your 9 to 5 job, another day where you're just buying groceries, and another day where you're just waking up, and it's the same exact thing all over up until some sort of change happens into your life. Whether you bring on that change or whether that change happens through an external influence, we don't know. Until it happens, we don't know. So in this instance, Linda is finally coming to that point where she is looking for things to do, but during her insane phase, when I say insane phase, I mean, I'm saying she goes insane. She has an interview because she's a journalist. She has an interview with a political person. But the catch is, this guy used to be someone she used to date. Pretty sure it was high school. So it's eons ago because she's 35 now. This is where the story gets interesting because now Linda's living her life. She's doing this interview, and they have a very basic kind of conversation about professionalism and where he's planning to go in his campaign, what his future looks like. And when he's about to leave, he kisses her. Fair. The title of the book is called Adultery. So fair. I allow it. Not that I like the topic, but I allow it. And then she kisses him back. But suddenly, there's no context to any of this. It's just a kiss. Suddenly, she pulls his pants down and she gives him. At that point, I'm still allowing it because it fits into the title of adultery, but the lack of sexual tension to build up to this kind of thing is what I was missing. But at the same time, these kinds of things I can understand. They happen on impulse. So I still let that go. What I didn't expect were the events after it, because now Linda is constantly thinking about Jakob. All she wants is him. She's happy with her husband. She says, I'm going through these changes. I feel like I'm depressed. I'm in a dark place. You don't understand. Her husband is like, I realize like you're not yourself. That's okay. We'll try new things, and takes her out for walks and all of that kind of stuff. But Linda, for the life of her, she is still fixed on Jakob, to the point where she's stalking him daily. She stalks him so hard on the internet, in the personal lives or whatever, and she's trying to get assignments that are around him or based on him. And then she starts sending him messages. At one point, she stalks him to the point where she ends up like going to this political campaign party after all of these results or whatever comes in, and she goes and she runs into Jakob's wife. I'm gonna just call her M and Madame at this point because she's called Madame. Like, she introduces herself as Madame in that one, so I'm gonna say that. And she sees that this woman is blonde haired, blue eyes. She's like perfection in the opinion of everyone because she carries herself so well. And instantly that makes Linda so angry that Jakob is choosing this woman over her. And what she does is she puts a target on Madame's back and she wants to attack her in every single possible way. So instead of dealing with this in a normal kind of way, what she does is she goes to Jakob. She's like, I have these feelings. I don't expect you to whatever, reciprocate it, but it's there, and like, I want to explore it. And he's like, have you considered couples counseling for you and you like marriage therapy? And she's like, what? How dare you? Like she comes out of it not hearing, like she didn't get the answer she wanted, and she's like, that was an insult. He recommended marriage counseling to me, and that's an insult. I turn over the next page, and as soon as I turn it over, it's like, I'm going to meet a drug dealer. And I'm like, we missed so many steps, and suddenly we just ended up here. I don't know how we ended up, but we ended up with a drug. So she's meeting a drug dealer. She met a drug dealer, and I thought she was trying to get for herself, maybe. No, she takes it two, three steps further. She tells this elaborate lie to this drug dealer saying, oh yeah, my husband is having an affair and this woman, blah blah blah, and I'm just trying to even the playing field and trying to get my husband back. And she buys to plant it in this woman's office and get her arrested on drug charges. Explain that to me, because I don't get it. If this was adultery like it was supposed to be, I'm okay with it. At this point, I'm okay with it. What this woman is doing at this point is no longer adultery. It's criminal activities led by an obsession. Then, oh wait, it gets worse. So now she's going to plant it. She doesn't get the opportunity. Out of some luck, this woman's table doesn't have drawers. So she's like, oh, my plan foiled. Maybe I should go back. And she went back into her car, and she's now sitting there and she's thinking, and she sees in like the distance a psychiatric hospital. And she's like, do I belong there? And me reading this, and I'm like, yes, you have what is called borderline personality disorder. I'm going to put a list up here. It's a lot of aggression, narcissism, it's a lot of heightened emotions, all of those kinds of things is exactly what this lady is portraying, which I'll list down here, because she's exhibiting signs of someone who isn't able to control their emotions, who isn't able to just regulate anything. She's not able to be honest because she's covering up one lie with another lie. And eventually, I just stopped reading it. I tried to flick through the pages and see if there's a proper resolution to this, if she understands that she's going through something that needs medical help and attention, but no, instead she goes skydiving with her kids. And this is when I just flicked through the pages and I immediately lost interest. Like, you're not going to convince me to read a book where the main character has lost her mind. I didn't learn a single thing from this book, because when you think of adultery, it's consensual. Adultery at some point is consensual. It is not unrequited. That is not adultery. Consensual adultery is when both parties have agreed on that this is what's happening, but this goes beyond what adultery is. It goes into some sort of delusional universe where you think this person is the focus of your interest, and because of that you do things that are completely out of the ordinary, completely reckless, and even illegal, like buying drugs and placing drugs in someone else's possession. That's illegal. She also came clean at one point where she said she stuck pins in a broom and she would attack a cat, her ex-boyfriend's cat, because the cat got more attention from the boyfriend than she did. And at that point, I was like, yeah, this girl needs help. So I don't know what this book was about, but I don't think I can recommend this to anyone with a good conscience, because as good as the writing is, as good as the way the story flowed and went from one scene to another, and I understood the concepts of it, this book was a lot of confusion. It gave me unnecessary anxiety because I could not read a book like this and think, yeah, this is exactly what I would signed up for. I'm sorry, this is not. And I'm not saying I signed up for adultery either, but my God, at least stick to the point. Because what is this? I've never disliked a book. Like I physically did not want to finish this book. I thought, you know what, let me try. Let me give it my best effort to finish it. And I just gave up. Could not do it. Could not do it for the life of me. The book is It's reckless, it's hopeless, and whirlpool of negativity and mental health where the person just doesn't come out of it. And it's damaging the people around. Like, it's not just going to be Jakobs who's damaged from this. It's not just going to be the madame who's going to be damaged from this. It's also going to be her husband, her kids, when they find out that she is acting this kind of way. Like, it impacts other people, her job, her reputation, her husband's reputation, all gone when they find out she has placed drugs in someone else's possession, or she's bought drugs under false pretenses. Like, come on, be better, do better. So if you guys have read Adultery, I'd love to know, because I just cannot recommend it in good conscience. I don't know if anyone else has read it before. Like, obviously someone has read it before. I'm not saying no one has read it before, but how did you feel? Because I want to know. I didn't like it. I didn't finish it. So it's one of the only two books I have so far DNF'd with no inkling of going back to it. This book could have been framed so much better without the additional issues that came up. As a person, there has to be like at least some sort of duality in it, which I didn't find in the book. I didn't think there was going to be the issues that I thought were going to come into this book. Obviously, center around the gravity of what adultery is. It's the confession sides of it. It's the initiation side of it. It's the owning up to the mistakes or the consequences of it. This overlooks all of those things because this is, once again, not adultery. This is unrequited obsession. So I don't know what Paulo Coelho was thinking, but this ain't it. That's it. That's it for me on this one. Read it, don't read it. I'd love to know what you guys think. This is called Adultery by Paulo Coelho, and that's it for this review. If you like my rant on disliking this book, give me a share, like, subscribe. I don't know. Do what you guys want to do, but definitely I would love to know your thoughts on this book. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.